Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Rosie's View. Yeah, we're gonna go caving today because I need some stuff. Oh, hello. Let me just deal with these little butts. Okay, bye! Thank you. Okay. I hate skeletons sometimes. Anyway, so I have already been mining a little bit, but not much. I just wanted to make sure I had a good cave, so yeah, I asked for topics and I couldn't really find a good one, but, okay, Kyra from Australia, she asked me to address anxiety. Now, personally, that is a really, really difficult topic to address because there are so many different things to talk about with anxiety. Anxiety is a huge thing. It affects so many different parts. You can have different types of anxiety. It's not like I could talk about it all in one video, but I will try to give like a general idea and maybe some tips on how to cope with anxiety, though of course it's really, really hard to do, but it's hard to live with. Okay, so I kind of asked if anybody could give me any specifics anxiety, and maybe if you want to learn more about one of the anxieties that I talk about in this, or if you want to maybe have another specific video for that type of anxiety, I can maybe talk to you about that. Maybe make that another video. But for now, it's just yeah, that's just how it's gonna work. So one anxiety that I know is very prominent today, and it's really unfortunate, but it's social anxiety. And that is where people are literally just terrified of being in public, of talking to people, of socializing. And I don't personally have this, so I cannot say I know everything about it. I'm actually a very talkative person. I do not consider myself to have social anxiety, though I do have most other types of anxiety. But I do know that social anxiety is crippling. If you're in school and you're expected to be a good student, it's kind of hard to do when you can't breathe because you're just afraid of socializing with other people and of talking to people and of being judged. And honestly, social anxiety sucks, and I really, like, if you have social anxiety, I don't know what to tell you about fixing it, except one second. Sorry, I got a phone call from my mom. So social anxiety, okay, I said something wrong. Anxiety cannot be fixed. Anxiety can be helped, though. So if you're really, really, really bad with social anxiety and you cannot communicate, probably the best way to fix it is by pushing yourself. And I know that sounds horrible and that should not be suggested, but honestly, if you want to fix social anxiety, you gotta kind of put yourself out there. And, I mean, you gotta talk to people, you gotta find people with similar interests, find people who like Minecraft, see somebody with a gamer team shirt, and be like, hi, you have the same interests as me, we should be friends, and maybe that'll help something. I'm not really sure. Like I said, I don't personally have social anxiety, so I can't talk about that. So yeah, if I'm wrong, don't hate me, just let me know in the comments and I'll look more into it and maybe readdress it in a later video. Okay, so next we've got a different type of anxiety, and this one I actually do have, and it is post-traumatic stress disorder. So literally, like, there's an event in your past that kind of haunts you, and it's, You have flashbacks of it, you can't get it out of your head, and sometimes something will remind you of it, and you literally just start shaking, this overwhelming sensation that nothing is going right, and you just want to cry because you feel like you're back where everything happened. Post-traumatic anxiety, it's after a horrible event or an embarrassing event sometimes. It's just something that left an imprint on you, something that left its mark. And that type of anxiety sucks. It's, for me, I am not personally going to talk about what it is that I remember all the time, but I have anxiety attacks, panic attacks, and I literally will just sit there and shake really, really badly for a long time, and eventually I'll find my way to breathe again, but it's really scary, to be honest. Post-traumatic anxiety is not a fun thing to have, but a lot of people live with it in some form or fashion because there are a lot of horrible situations or occurrences that happen in this world that will scar people, especially nowadays with the many cases we have where there's murders, there's witnesses, and just horrible, horrible things that should not happen, but they do. And I just, I, I sympathize with those people because honestly, you should not have to see things like that, especially at such a young age. And you should not have it haunt you your entire life. You shouldn't have to live with it. That's always the worst thing to do. I think my sounds are on really high. Oh yeah, I was playing UHC the other day. Okay. So anyway, next type of anxiety would be traumatic. And that is when you freak out as a situation is occurring. Now, this one is a bit more common, but it's a bit related to other things because you have to have past experiences to give you anxiety for certain situations. So, and sometimes it's related to phobias, like I have hemophobia, where I am afraid of blood, and no, that does not give you the right to just tweet me photos of bloody things because that would literally send me into a, like, panic, and I don't want that. But I do have anxiety and hemophobia. So if I see blood, I will freak out. I will start shaking. I'll have an anxiety attack. Because it's all about imagery, and literally you can just picture the worst case scenario. That's how I see just normal anxiety when something is happening. It's, you picture the worst case scenario, even though it's probably the least likely scenario. You still picture it in the back of your mind, and you can't get the image away. You just keep seeing, like, as for me with hemophobia, I keep seeing the person bleeding out and, like, dying. I just freak out because of that. And it's not really my own blood so much as it's other people's. And honestly, like, if I know the source and I know it's just like a tiny little cut, if it's like a head wound and it's got a lot of blood, I know it's ugh, this is disgusting. I know it's just because heads bleed a lot, and it doesn't automatically mean it's a horrible injury. Of course, if you are bleeding your head, then you probably want to go see a doctor, unless you're just bleeding a little bit. But yeah, I know I can add. Go away, zombie. I can add reason to my anxiety. So, anyway, another type of anxiety would be pre-traumatic, and that's when something hasn't happened yet, but you're afraid of what could happen with it. And that would be like school. If you've got school coming up and you start panicking and picturing everything that could possibly happen and go wrong with school, every like scenario, like a bad teacher, getting bullied, made fun of, you just picture it all and you can't get the thoughts to go away, and you automatically just think that the worst possible thing is going to happen and you're going to have a horrible day, which I really hope is not true, because honestly I hope all my rosebuds have a good first day of school, because you guys deserve the best. But if it is, I'm just saying, like, usually it's from past experience. Usually pre-traumatic stress is from past experience, and that makes it similar to post-traumatic, because post-traumatic is you are afraid because of past experiences and you keep thinking of them. And sometimes they're closely linked. Like, whenever I'm reminded of something, I start panicking about something that happened in my past, and it makes me think that, hey, this is the same situation right now, the same circumstances are surrounding it, and it could happen again. And then I start freaking out because of the idea that it's possible for it to happen again. Even though it's unlikely, it's still a possibility, and it gets in my head and it won't go away. That is kind of how I see that. So, if I can... Oh, hi. Thanks. Okay, so I think I've pretty much covered most of the main anxiety that you can have, and I know I kind of went into detail about the regular anxiety just because that's something I'm more familiar with. I do have anxiety, though I've gotten better recently, and like, honestly, that's why I can't really drive yet, because my doctor did not want me driving, because I'm the type of person with such bad anxiety on the road, like driving, that literally I will, if I see a leaf go across the road, I will picture that it's a squirrel, and I will picture that I'll kill the squirrel, but I'll picture in my head that it's not a squirrel and that it's like a dog or something, and the idea freaks me out, and I know that if I were to drive over the leaf, which in my head is not a leaf, I would be killing something, and I would probably swerve out of the way and flip the car. That is why my doctor did not let me get my permit for a while, so I am not actually able to drive yet, but I just got my permit the other day, so now I can work towards being able to drive. But yeah, that's my little anxiety story. My psychiatrist, and I know that sounds psychotic if you have a psychiatrist, that makes you sound like you're insane, but I swear you're not. If you need a psychiatrist, if you need help because you know your anxiety is crippling you and it's like making you to where you can't live a normal life because you're just so anxious all the time. And trust me, I know the feeling. It's possible. For those who don't have anxiety watching this video, anxiety can burden you to the point where you cannot lead a normal life because you are so panicked about different scenarios that can go on in life. But honestly, if you have anxiety that is that bad, I encourage you to see a doctor. You will not sound like a loony if you go to a psychiatrist. My psychiatrist is really, really cool. Like, he is awesome. He actually selects his patients. He has to know that he can get along with them and that he can treat them properly. And he has not medicated me. He does not believe I need it, even though my anxiety is pretty bad. He believes I am strong enough to handle it, and I believe so too. At first I didn't, and that's another thing. There is also anxious depression. Anxious depression is where your anxiety has literally gotten so bad, has gotten to a point where you are depressed. And that can happen. I know it sounds really unrealistic, but it can happen, and it has happened to me. I actually, a couple months ago, was diagnosed with anxious depression because I did not have a normal life anymore. My life was consumed by the anxiety. I was literally freaking out because every single one of my worst fears had came true. All of the things that I did not want to happen, all the things that my mind was telling me would happen, my anxiety was telling me would happen, it all came true. And that brought me to the brink of just horrible depression. Thoughts were just crowding my head. And guys, don't freak out. Those thoughts aren't happening anymore. I am doing a lot better. Actually, you guys have helped me so much, and that's why I started my channel, so that I can help other people and maybe solve your problems. And not solve your problems, but help you with them and talk with you and, I don't know, overcome our struggles together. And I'm kind of rambling right now, but yes, that is kind of why. But you guys have made everything so much better for me. I could not thank you enough. Literally, I walk around the halls every day. I keep the number of subscribers that I have that morning before I go to school written on my hand. If I ever am having a moment of just horrible anxiety, I just look at it and I remember that there are that many people out there who care about me and who can help me through it. And then I get home and I talk to all of you, and you all make me so happy. So my anxiety is getting better, but if any of you have anxiety, I encourage you to talk to a doctor about it. Talk to your parents, let them know what's going on, let them know that you're having really bad anxiety, because it is a serious mental disorder. And no, don't think, oh my gosh, I have a disorder, I'm insane. You're not. You're just... A lot of people in America have anxiety. It's very common. Anxiety is a everyday occurrence, but when it's a disorder, you can't really help it anymore. And that's the point when you need to see a doctor and talk to somebody. Work things out, figure out what's going on and why you are having these thoughts. Because honestly, it would break my heart if I were to come home and hear that one of my rosebuds was not with us anymore. It would shatter me. I love every single one of you, and you do not want your anxiety to turn into anxious depression, because it is horrifying. It is scary. I promise you that. It's a really scary thing. I'm losing my voice, guys. 1 second. Let me just take a sip of water. Okay, so I hope I addressed anxiety properly for you all. I mean, like I said, I can talk to you guys if you guys want a specific type of anxiety mentioned or discussed. I can look into that. I can find something, or I can do more research on specific types. But I will tell you, I will tell you right now my usual way that I treat it, or I help myself whenever I am having an attack. And attacks are common. Okay, this is what I do, and I need you guys to do this with me. And if you're ever having an anxiety attack, you can reference this video, come to this exact point in this video, and just do this with me. Okay, take deep breaths. Count to 10 while you're breathing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take a deep breath while you're counting to 10, and then breathe out counting to 10 too. Keep doing that. And I know that sounds really cliche and really stupid, but it helps. So after you've done that, just sit in front of a mirror. If you have no mirrors available, just close your eyes. But just imagine happy thoughts. Again, cliche, but I don't give a damn. It helps. Just picture happy thoughts and clear your head of all negativity. Clear your head of all flashbacks, ideas, or thoughts that just cannot, they're just haunting you. And just think to yourself, I can make it. Think to yourself of all the good things you can do, all the things you have yet to do. Think of just happy things and happy people. Think of all your happy memories. Think of what you can do later in the day, and ignore the thoughts that keep crossing your mind. If you're having social anxiety and you're stuck in school and you're just so afraid of all these people around you, just sit down and take deep breaths and just kind of block everybody out. Ignore them, ignore their hateful comments, ignore the rude things they could say, and just breathe. Just breathe, please. Breathe, my little rosebuds. I'm doing this myself too, because I'm kind of shaking a bit. Just talking about anxiety, it kind of gets to me, but I felt like I needed to share my experiences with you and find a way that we can work this through. And I promise, guys, if you ever need to talk to anybody, I am here. You can message me on YouTube. You can message me on Twitter. You can email me. I don't care. I will find a way to respond, and you can just rant, tell me everything, and I will sit there and I will read it, and I will respond to you as soon as I can. I know sometimes I might be a bit busy, but usually I can respond within a few hours, and I will be here for you guys. I will be here for all my rosebuds because I love every single one of you. As I'm filming this right now, there are 58, and I never thought we'd get to here. I thought that maybe I'd have like 10, 20, but 58, you guys never cease to amaze me, and I could not be happier. And I just want all of you to be happy too. So please remember what I've said, and don't worry, be happy. I love you all. Oh yeah, I didn't check this chest back here. You guys probably all yelling at me, but yes, diamond horse armor. Woo woo. GG. Okay, now you guys can not yell at me. I'll grab cat too. And a saddle, why not? So yeah, anyway, guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was kind of all random and everything, because I didn't really have much planned. Like last time I had a list of what I was going to say, and I don't know, I kind of winged it this time. But anxiety is something I'm a lot more familiar with because I know it, I experience it. But if there's anything I was wrong about, feel free to inform me, because everybody experiences anxiety differently. There are different ways all of us feel about it, different ways that we have panic attacks, and just feel free to share any experience you have. We can learn together, we can help each other, and I hope to be here for you guys for as long as I can, and I hope you guys continue to enjoy my series. This is, yeah, Rosie's View. And if you guys want me to address any of the things, just let me know and give me a topic for the next video. I love you all. Bye, rosebuds.